If you've been keeping up with award season, there's a pretty good chance you've heard of American Fiction. The directorial debut of Cord Jefferson, which stars Jeffrey Wright, Sterling K. Brown, and Issa. The movie, an adaptation of the novel Erasure, follows Monk, a professor/writer who's struggling to get published due to his books being deemed not black enough. They don't play into enough stereotypes, they're too universal in theme. That's when a frustrated monk under a pen name decides to write a character of what a stereotypical black book would look like. And to his surprise, the book kinda blows up, and he has to struggle with how he feels about his newfound reality. The movie has received several nominations at the 96th Academy Awards, such as the Best Actor nomination for Jeffrey Wright, a Best Supporting Actor nomination for Sterling K. Brown, a Best Adapted Screenplay nomination for Cord Jefferson, and a Best Picture nomination. But the Academy Awards, like any other subjective institution, aren't infallible. By far the greatest strength of this movie is its screenplay, which borrows a lot from source material while also bringing enough of its own ideas to the table to feel fresh to even someone who's read the book. I heard this movie described as a dramedy, and I think it executes both its dramatic and comedic aspects incredibly well. The best dramedies so effortlessly combine the drama and the comedy so that they complement and elevate each other, which this movie certainly does. This is a satire about the entertainment industry's tendency to pigeonhole black writers and minority groups at large into only writing stories that particularly pertain to their race. And in that sense, the comedic tone is used to comment on and reveal something pretty serious. Cord Jefferson said he based a lot of it on his own experiences as a writer, and it's easy to imagine that a lot of others have experienced similar things. Lately, whenever I see a trailer for another movie about slavery, for example, I see a lot of comments from people saying they're tired of the fact that these are the only types of stories that the entertainment industry is interested in producing about black people. Not because these aren't important stories to tell, but because it would be nice to get more fun horror movies that just happen to star black people, or a romantic comedy where the leads just happen to be black. And yeah, things are getting a little better and more diversified, but I still think we've got a long way to go. It's an interesting topic for a movie to tackle, and one I haven't personally seen explored much. But Cinemike, isn't this movie hypocritical? How can you criticize the entertainment whilst tendency to pigeonhole black people while simultaneously making a movie that is all about the black experience? Fair question to ask, but I think the answer lies in the brilliance of the script. Because while this movie does tackle things that are pretty unique to being a black person in America, the movie itself also functions incredibly well as a family drama. The movie is populated by characters who deal with universal issues like taking care of a sick relative, being yourself, getting married. So yes, while this movie says a lot of interesting things about how black people are treated by the entertainment world, the film also deals with some incredibly universal stuff that just about anyone can relate to, and does so in a way that's funny, poignant, and at times genuinely heartfelt. I heard a lot of buzz around the cast of this film, and while I don't think anyone delivered on anything Oscar worthy or even Oscar nomination worthy, I thought everyone did a fantastic job. I've been a fan of Jeffrey Wright and everything I've seen him in, whether it's The Batman, Game Night, The French Dispatch, and did you know he popped up in the video game The Last of Us? But I don't think I've ever seen him better than he is here. He's got an everyman quality about him that makes him instantly likable and relatable, and he doesn't miss a beat when it comes to portraying Monk's frustration with the writing industry. He finds that little part in us that we've all experienced, where we feel like life is just kicking us down again and again and again, and perfectly captures that on screen. Sterling K. Brown is undeniably the other big name that's been getting a lot of buzz, and he delivers my favorite performance in the movie. I've been a fan of him since I saw him in American Crime Story's adaptation of the O.J. Simpson trial, and though this is a less dramatic performance, he's every bit as magnetic here. He just can't help himself but chew up the screen every time he's on it, and is about as likable as a supporting character can be. And sure, I would have liked Charles Melton to nab the Best Supporting Actor nomination, but the fact that Sterling K. Brown got a friggin' Oscar nomination despite spending half of his scenes shirtless, goofing around and having fun is a pretty impressive feat in his own right. The character also ties pretty well into the movie's themes, and I love the heartfelt exchange he shares with Jeffrey Wright's character toward the end of the film. The rest of the cast is also fantastic. Eric Alexander, Tracee Ellis Ross, Issa, Leslie Uggams, Adam Brody. I just wish we would have gotten more Issa because she's fantastic. It makes every moment count. As is expected from a lot of Oscar-nominated movies, the filmmaking itself is disappointingly bland, and it brings down the rest of the film with it. Like, if this movie was directed as well as it was written, we would be talking about maybe an instant classic. But every conversational scene is filmed in an incredibly bland manner, and Jefferson relies entirely on the strength of the words and performances to create meaning, instead of using the camera as a tool to mine as much meaning from his premise and characters. So, while it's undeniable that Cord Jefferson is a strong writer and is able to create funny, meaningful dialogue and relatable characters, I would love nothing more to see his visual language grow more in the future. Let me give you an example. There's a scene in this movie where Jeffrey Wright has to do a stereotypical black voice over the phone, and it reminded me a lot of the white voice in Boots Riley's Sorry to Bother You. But the way that movie portrayed it was just much more inventive and memorable, with Boots Riley dubbing the voices over with a stereotypical white voice to hilarious effect. That said, there is one moment in which Monk writes his story and we literally get to see it come to life in front of him, which was pretty cool. And look, though the movie overall moved at a pretty good pace, one other criticism I had is that I thought it took a little too long for the film to get started. I mean, that part I mentioned in the synopsis where he publishes a stereotypical book under a pen name doesn't occur until about 40 minutes of the 2-hour runtime. If I hadn't read the synopsis of this movie beforehand, I think I would have spent the first 40 minutes being like, yeah, where is this going? That said, in spite of his current shortcomings as a director, Cord Jefferson has undeniably established himself as an exciting voice in cinema, and one whose next movie I am eagerly anticipating. With American Fiction, Jefferson has crafted a satire that is just as funny as it is sad, as entertaining as it is intelligent, as universal as it is specific, as well acted as it is well written. It's a film that asks a lot of interesting questions, and while the ending doesn't flat out answer the questions, I thought it did something even more powerful, crafting an ending that is just ripe for discussion, for genuine discourse, and for that, I'm giving this movie an 8 out of 10. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe. And if you've seen the movie, let us know what you thought about it in the comments below. I'm Cinemike, and I will see you next time.